I went to Middlesex University and did drama and theatre degree, and then decided that I actually needed more of a top up in terms of, because I wanted to be an actress at that point. So I went and did the postgraduate year at Oxford School of Drama, which was brilliant and I highly recommend it. And then I came out and I did the very stereotypical actress thing of not writing my letters and not doing my networking and not really getting out there, and which was sad because I think that it's taught, that kind of side of it is taught very well at Oxford, and I just didn't quite put it into practice. And so I very much became one of those people that waits for the phone to ring, and of course it doesn't. You have to kind of go out there and do it yourself and make your own work and get noticed and put stuff out there. And the phone did ring, but it was a friend of mine, Johnny Humphreys, who's a director, saying, "Oh, I'm casting a play up at the Arcola. Do you fancy coming in and giving me a hand?" I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." I went and did Mojo and Mickey Bow, which subsequently transferred to Trafalgar Studios, and then it kind of just rolled on from there, and I just totally fell in love with it. It finally felt like I was in the right place, and I just went, "Oh yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing," which is funny because my mum had always said, "Why don't you try casting?" And I was going, "Oh, I don't want to be behind the camera." I think one of the things that it's helped me with is when I'm reading in and giving actors something, I hope that I'm a good enough reader for them to have something to respond to. I think it can be very difficult when just cold reads happen and the actor doesn't get anything from it, because whatever you've done at home in your room, you're imagining the other person giving it as much as you are, and sometimes you can quite often not have that happen. So I think that helps, but I think there are other little things as well, just in terms of, I did quite a bit of directing when I was at drama school and when I was at university, and I think I very much consider my role as a casting director, that the director part is involved in it, because I think I need to, sometimes I'm doing castings without a director being there, and even if my direction isn't right, I need to be able to give it to an actor so that I can see that they can take it, because generally that's what we're looking for, especially when we're passing it higher up, and then they'll do a proper session or something like that. So yeah, probably very much so. I mean, it can change an awful lot depending what projects you have on. Typically I work from home, so quite often I will get up and either a new project will be coming in, which I'll be putting out a breakdown for, or a new script will be coming in and I'll have a read through of it and trying to analyse parts that are either going to go on offer or if they need to be put out in a breakdown, that kind of thing. It can range from anywhere between going to meetings with either the production company or the director, just to make sure that we're on the same page, or trawling through my files to find people that are right, or actually doing auditions as well, here at Spotlight or elsewhere. I think we've become a lot more reliant on the link rather than the books. I mean, for me personally, and obviously I'm always only ever speaking personally, but I tend to just use the link unless I'm really stuck, and then I'll sit down and have a flick through the books. I think everything's so much faster as well. One of the things I think is imperative for an actor nowadays is to get a clip of yourself up if you don't have a showreel, or a showreel. I would rather somebody had one clip of themselves doing an advert than nothing, just because I think so many actors forget that actually, it's our reputations at stake as well. So if I'm bringing 5 people in for one part, I need to know that those 5 people are, 1, right for it, and 2, can do it. So I'm not going to bring in people that I don't know. And everyone always says, well, how do we get known? And I think there are lots of opportunities and ways to do that. But, through casting workshops, through Q&A talks, through your agent, but also getting your showreel up on Spotlight, just so that we can go, yeah, they're not right for this, but I'll keep them in the bank, or, oh yeah, brilliant, they're perfect, let's bring them in. Speed, I think, the speed with which we are meant to cast at, the turnover. So, for instance, at the moment I'm doing a children's BBC programme with, I'm casting some of the children on it, and the director is already in rehearsals, so a lot of the kids have been self-taping with some direction from me so that they know what I want from them, they'll upload it over to me, and then I'll send it over to the director, and we'll actually cast off that. I mean, that's not to say that that's normal, but it does happen. So I think for actors, having things like a video camera at home with which to be able to do that. So if somebody does, probably happen once in a blue moon, but if somebody does say, oh, can you record yourself, for you to be able to go, yes, absolutely fine, rather than, I need to check with my friend who's got my camera, or, all those kind of things. So yeah, definitely speed. And in terms of our casting time being condensed as well, I think on a lot of programmes, it's gone down, we might have had 6 weeks to cast a programme, and now we have 4 or something like that. I mean, it varies from project to project, but I'm noticing that especially in theatre at the moment. I think also one of the things that has changed is the demand for names in kind of every sector. So whether you're in film or television or theatre, which can feel quite like something's being imposed upon you, but I think, the best casting directors, a lot of whom I have worked for, always work around that to the point where they feel like it's a creative choice and not something that's being forced upon them. I couldn't really do it without it. I think there are other options out there, but I think for a serious actor, Spotlight is the one to be on. Just in terms of getting to know people, I love the fact that all the drama showcases are up on there, so that, I can just go, oh yes, Hours One is this Wednesday, or Central School of Speech and Drama is this Thursday. I've got a free afternoon, let's pop along to it. I think for actors, the whole thing of having voice clips up there, having show reels, going back to when people that I've worked for used to talk about having things faxed through or posted around, and I know a lot of casting directors still like hard copy of things. It's also helped that I now run a paperless office, so it's been brilliant for that because everything's just there and I don't need to kind of do anything, and it works on the iPad and all those kind of things as well, so it's great. I like to think that my relationships with agents are very much based on trust. You get to know agents and build up a relationship with them, and you start to like their clients and realise that they have a good eye, and that your taste is similar, because that's all it really is. It is very subjective, acting and comedy especially as well, which I've been doing a bit of recently. What might make one person laugh might not make another, so it's very important to have that trust there. With actors, I couldn't do my job without actors. So personally, I think they're the most important part of it. And I think it can be very demoralising for actors when they feel like they haven't been seen and that they don't know how to be. And I think, my partner is an actor, and we've downloaded all the Spotlight podcasts and things, and there are things in there which help, I think, and for every actor, whether that's somebody who's just graduating or going into training or has graduated quite a few years before or is very well established, I think it reminds people that actually it is a craft. I think there's a danger that it can become the be all and end all for people to a certain extent. With websites, I have to personally say that I don't use them because everything I need is usually on Spotlight. So your voice clips, your show reel, your CV and your photo. I think it's very important for people with profiles to have websites, just in case, they have fans and things like that want to get in contact with them. Or if they have new projects coming up that they want to let people know about. I don't personally use websites. I do use Twitter an awful lot. It's very much a networking thing, but I think it's also about finding out stuff that interests me. So I follow a lot of people Matt Truman, for instance, who's a critic. I find out a lot of stuff from him. We have similar interests, and I think that's why Twitter and things like that are important. What I do have to say is I hate when the boundaries are overstepped. There's a certain kind of view that because we might be following each other on Twitter that we are therefore best buddies. And I hate to say this to all actors, but it doesn't mean that at all. So if I'm going to come and see a show that you're in, whether it be at the RSC in Stratford or whether it be at the White Bear or the Old Red Lion, I'm going to be taking time out of my day. And I'm not saying this in a kind of demanding diva-ish way, but I do like a nice email just saying, I'm in this, I'm playing this, I think it's really good, I'd love you to come and see it. 140 characters is not enough for you to kind of tempt me into seeing it. And it also gets to that point where I feel like it's sort of interrupting what I use Twitter for. That isn't an actor's fault because they have no idea what I use Twitter for, but hopefully saying it now, I won't get loads of tweets going, come and see me at the White Bear. And I do try and go to an awful lot of stuff. It's the same with Facebook. I passionately hate it when even friends of mine Facebook me saying, hi, I'm doing this. One, because I quite often won't see it. But two, it's just that thing of, the whole point of going to see an actor is it's almost like a pre-interview, is the way I class it, in a much less formal way. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you should write me a Facebook message. Just a nice email. It doesn't take you any longer. I think is a great way to do it. And it makes me think well of you from the first moment. And it's the same thing as, coming into an audition and being prepared for it and, not being late and having read through your sides and know what you're reading for and all those kind of things that go along with it. It's just starting that process a little bit earlier. Just that general awareness of how technology can improve your life as an actor. So we're talking about show reels and things like that, but developing your own stuff so that's, on YouTube channels, on all those kind of things, doing little sketch shows, or Isabel Faye, who is a actress who I've just been casting for, has always done her own work, and recently she's produced a comedy video which she's acting in. And it's hard, you're asking people to work for little to no money and often for free, but if they believe in the product then often they'll do it. And I think actors need to apply that to every aspect of their life, whether it's doing a piece of fringe or setting up on their own or developing short readings of things and just being that bit more proactive. I think I worked with a wonderful casting director called Ginny Schiller, and I still do work for her occasionally because she's brilliant. And we did King Lear with Pete Postlethwaite. And just to kind of go and see that production and go, I've been a part of something that has cast Pete Postlethwaite as King Lear, was really rather fantastic. And I accidentally managed to sit next to Michael Boyd as well, which I don't really know how I managed to pull off. So we had a full conversation about it, and when he learnt I was part of the project, we had a full chat. So that was quite nice in terms of being in the really early days of my career. The other thing is that at the moment I've got 4 theatre shows that I've cast that are currently running. I think one's just finished, it's just gone down to 3, but there was a point where they were all running. And one of them is The Girl with the Iron Claws, which was a girl I went to drama school with called Hannah Mulder, set up a company with Rachel Canning. And it's about folk tales and puppetry. And she came to me and said, look, do you mind doing this project, possibly casting it for me? And we did it, and we all took a risk. Nobody did it for any money, and it got a full sellout run at Edinburgh. They had to add more shows on, and since then it's going on a tour of the UK, and it's at the Soho. So I'm going to pop along and see the cast tonight. So it's really nice to be able to go, come and do this, and then actually something else happens from it, which is massive, and it's such a fantastic piece. Not that I'm plugging it at all. It really is.